Hi folks, I'm going to have a wee review of the S3 exam that you've just sat. So we'll go over paper 1 in this video and I'll do a separate video for paper 2. Total marks are out of 70, each paper was out of 35. I'll walk you through where you pick up your marks and anything that I noticed that went wrong at any point and bring that up. Alright, question 1's out of 3 marks. It's 2 sets of brackets, so you want to think about multiplying the first thing by the first thing. Gives you 6x cubed, then minus 14x squared plus your 6x, then the minus 3 times the minus 3x squared there would give you minus 9x squared. So if you've got space you can put it at the end, some people said it out there. The minus 3 times the minus 7x give you plus 21x. And the minus 3 times the plus 3 at the end would be minus 9. So those would be the terms. 1 mark for the first 3 terms and 1 mark for the second 3 terms. Tidying it up to get your answer 6x cubed. You'll get minus 14x squared minus another 9, should do minus 23x squared. You'll get plus 6x plus 21x plus 27x and minus 9 at the end. That's your first 3 marks. Cool. Question 2, find the gradient line joining the points. So to get your gradient, it's y2 take y1 over x2 take away x1. And your points, this is your x and your y, x and y. You do that as your first coordinate and your second coordinate. Then the numbers should go in as 8, take away 6 in the top. And then minus 3 take away 4 on the bottom. Leaving you with 2 on the top and minus 7 on the bottom. That's the gradient. That's 2 marks. 1 mark for putting in the right numbers and 1 mark for getting the answer. 2 marks. Question 3. Express the trinomial in that form. So this is completing the square. It doesn't say that, but that's what we have to do in that form. That's completed square form. So your technique is nice and straightforward. It's just x, because that's the letter you're dealing with, half the middle term, so it would be minus 5, half the number in the middle term. That becomes your square, your completed square. You always subtract the square of the number in there, always subtract the square of that number, and then whatever's left over to do, you add 1 to 7. Tidying it up, we get x minus 5 in brackets squared, and then minus 25 add 7 would be minus 18. So 2 marks, 1 for your complete square and 1 for tidying up to get minus 18. Question 4 is the fraction question, and the thing you want to think about there is BODMAS, because there's an of. Of really means times. If you're finding a half of something, a half of 50 for example, it means times because you're doing a half times 50, which is 25. Alright, so we need to do the of bit first. So we're doing 3/4 times 1 2/3, 1 times 3, add the 2 would be 5 over 3. So changing that to a top heavy, getting you 3 times 5 is 15, 4 times 3 is 12, and tidying that up to make life easier for you in a minute. 3 times table goes into 5, 5 times, and into 4, into 12, 4 times. So that's 5 over 4. So what we've got to do, 1 4/5, 1 times 5 add 4 is 9 over 5, and we're adding on the stuff we've worked out there, which is 5 over 4. To get the answer you can smile and kiss, giving you 20 on the bottom. Do your kiss, 9 times 4 is 36, add 5 times 5, 25. Leaving you with the answer 61 over 20. That's another 3 marks there, 3 marks. So your first mark would be for doing the order of operations the right way and getting 5 over 4. Then for adding at that point, and then for your answer 61 over 20. So 3 marks available for question 4. Okay, question 5. So we've got a 3D shape cube of edge 6 units, square base. Right, so square base, cube of edge 6 units. We need to get the coordinate of A, so let's see, we've got to go 6 along to get to there. To get to there we need to go 6 back, so A is the point 6, 6, and it's 0 off the ground. Alright, it's 0 off the ground. Point B, this is what you need to read carefully. Point B is in the middle at the top there, right? Middle at the top. So you go halfway into the middle. So it'll be 3 along. Halfway back, so it'll be 3 back. So point B is 3, 3, and then just the height. The height of the pyramid is equal to the edge of the cube. So that pyramid must be the same height as the edge of the cube, which is 6. So it was 6 high to get the cube because the cube had the side 6. And it's another 6 to get up to the top of the pyramid. So B is 3, 3, 12. 6 add 6. Right, so 1 mark for each coordinate. Question 6. The information at the side here in question 6 I did mention in the teams, just to ignore that. That's just to tell you that k can't be 0 or 3 over 2 in this fraction. Just additional information, and I was told you just to ignore that. Right as a single fraction, so it's basically algebraic fractions. You can smile and kiss. Times the bottom there gives you k bracket 2k minus 3. And then kiss the top, 7 bracket 2k minus 3. Take away 5 times k. Alright, so smile and kiss there. Multiplying out your bracket gets you 14k minus 21, minus the 5k that was there. Over, and just keep the bottom the same. Tidy up the top, gives you 14k, take away 5k is 9k, minus 21 over k bracket 2k minus 3. Alright, so we've written that as a fraction in its simplest form. You do more factorising at the top line, but you don't have to. So 3 marks. 1 for getting the right denominator. 1 for getting that first numerator correct. And then the next mark's for tidying up your answer. If you multiply the denominator and made a mistake, you'd have lost a mark. Right, 3 marks. Question 7, factorise fully. Alright, so first rule of factorising is look for a common factor. Common factor, folks, is 2. It leaves you with 2x squared plus 3x minus 2 in the brackets. Some people would miss that step if you're not careful. Factorise fully, it's 3 marks worth. So you get 1 mark for a common factor. Then we need to factorise the remaining trinomial. To get 2x squared, we need a 2x and an x. And to make the 2 at the end, we need a 1 and a 2, or a 2 and a 1. I get my smile set up, if you like. I want to get plus 3x. So, if I put a 2 there, that'll get me a 2x, and a 1 there. 1 times 2x give me a 2x. It wouldn't help me get 3x in the middle. But if I put a 1 here, and a 2 here, 1 times x gets me 1x, or just x. 2 times 2x gets me 4x. And I think I can get 3x with 4x and x. If I take away an x and I add the 4x, it gives me plus 3x. And so that's your completed factorisation. So it's 1 mark for your common factor out, and then 1 mark for the right terms, so the 2x, the 1, the x and the 2, and an R mark for the right signs as well. 3 marks. Question 7. Question 8. Factorise 9x squared, take away 100y squared. So it's a difference of 2 squares here. There's no common factor. Difference of 2 squares. So you need 2 sets of brackets. 3x, the 3x to make 9x squared. 10y and 10y to make 100y squared. One's a plus, one's a minus. Right, so that's difference of 2 squares. Hence evaluate. Part B is just problem solving. The same stuff, 9x squared minus 100y squared. It's giving you values. This is non-calculator. I don't expect you to know what 0.55 squared is. But hence means use the answer that you've got in part A there. Hence means use what you've got. So basically, in your sets of brackets, you had 3x add 10y, 3x take away 10y. Now what I do think you could do is, if x is 1.5, 3x would be 3 lots of 1.5 is 4.5. Add 10y, 10 times 0.55 is just 5.5. Another bracket, 3x, 4.5, take away 10y, 10 times that is 5.5. Now in the brackets, 4.5 and 10.5, 4.5 and 5.5 is just 10. 4.5 take away 5.5 is minus 1. And when brackets are squished together, that means they're times them. So this is really 10 times minus 1, which is minus 10. As Mrs. Ronnie and I have said to you before, we can't teach you how to do every single eventuality of a question that can come up. There's going to be problem solving involved in papers. You know how to factorise difference of two squares, and when I spoke through that, I'm sure you know how to do 3 times 1.5 and 10 times 0.55. It's just problem solving. Alright, so well done if you got that. If you didn't, it's not a disaster. You just know to look out for any little bits and bobs that you can do to make your answer better. Okay, question 9. Irrational denominator. Basically, you times the top and bottom of the fraction by the root that's there. I'll add the marks up there. I forgot to add the marks in a second. When you're getting the rationalising the denominator, times across the way once you've got your roots set up. Root 5 times root 5 in the bottom would be root 25, which is just 5. Alright, so that's a 2-mark question, 1 for your multiplying times root 5 over root 5, and 1 for your answer. This question, just 1 for that bit. In part B, 1 for subbing in, and 1 for the answer. Right. 9b, root 150 minus 3 root 6. 150, the biggest square number that goes into 150. So think through them. Start for a bigger one if you like. 100's not going to get 150. 81, don't think so. 64, no, don't think so. 49, no, don't think so. 36, don't think so. 25. So 25 is probably the biggest square number that goes into root 150. And that would be 25 times 6 to get to root 150. Take away 3 root 6. Can't simplify that because no squared number goes into 6. Square root of 25 we know is 5. Root 6 just keep under. And we're taking away 3 root 6. If you've got 5 root 6's and you take away 3 root 6's, you're left with 2 root 6's. And so that's a 2-mark question. 1 for the root 25 times 6. And 1 for tidying it up to get the answer. 2 marks. Okay, question 10. 3 times all this fun stuff. So it's 3 times a fractional power. If you remember, the top number is the power, the bottom number is the root. So this is really times by 27 to the power of 1 cube rooted. And the other one, negative power means it's on the bottom of a fraction. Negative power means it's on the bottom of a fraction, the thing that you're powering. Top number is your power, and the bottom number is your root. Okay, so multiplying through there, you've got 3 times the cube root of 27. What number times by itself? 3 times gets you 27. It's 3. And then the number that times by itself 4 times to give you 81 is 3. Think about it, 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is 81. So times 1 over 3, we'll still have to power it to 3. Tidying it up a wee bit more. 3 times 3 is obviously 9, times 1 over 3 cubed, that's 1 over 27. 9 times 1 over 27 is 9 over 27. 9 over 27 is just the same as a third. That would certainly be a level AB question, a non-routine question, that one. Alright, 3 marks. I think the first mark would be for identifying the cube root 27. Second mark would be for having everything else set out. And then the third mark for the answer. Alright, tricky question, that one. Okay, question 11 with the trig. Non-calculator. This here is very important. It tells you the trig value is a fifth, so you don't need to calculate anything. What you do have to know is it's the area of a triangle, so it's area, it's a half AB sine C. It's the only formula we've got for the area of a triangle. It's a half times, now you know sine C, that information, you know that, and you know the bits round about it. It's your little a and your little b. So it's a half 12 times 10 times sine C, and sine C, it tells you, is a fifth. So you just sub it in. Alright, so it's just using the formula and reading the question carefully. To work that out, you can do it in different steps, whatever suits you best. A half times 12 is just 6. A half times 12 is 6. Times 10, 60. Times a fifth, 60 divided by 5 is 12. So the answer is 12 centimetres squared. Say that again. So half times 12 would be 6. 6 times 10, 60. 6 times a fifth is 12. It's basically just 6 divided by 5. So 12 centimetres squared. 3 marks. 1 for subbing in the values, for using the real one and subbing in the values. You would then get 1 for part of your calculation and 1 for the answer with units. Okay. Question 12. We've got a sector of a circle where radius 6. The reflex angle in there is 240. Calculate the perimeter of the logo. So basically we need to go the whole way around. Plus, because it's perimeter of the logo, it's got to have the straight bits on it as well. Alright. Perimeter of the logo means it's the distance round outside. That's your arc length. So to get the distance round outside, we need to use the arc length. So it's arc is 240 out of 360 times pi d. Pi d. Arc is angle over 360 times pi d. The diameter, because the radius is 6, the diameter must be 12. This is non-calculator, folks. It tells you to use 3.14 for pi. In non-calculator papers, there will always be questions where you've got to use your numeracy skills. 240 over 360 is a scary looking fraction, but if you think about it, that fraction there, 240 out of 360, 120, 240, 360. That's just 2/3. So 120 goes into that twice and into that 3 times. So that's just 2/3 times 3.14 times 12. Now, 2/3 times 3.14 is not easy to do. So what you can do is 2/3 times 12 first. 2 times 12 is 24. Divide by 3 is 6. Say that again. 2 times 12 is 24. Divide by that 3 will give you 6. So it's really 3.14 times 6 that you have to do here. 4 times 6 is 24. 1 times 6 is 6 plus the 2 is 8. Put your point in, and 3 times 6 is 18. So the arc is 18.84 centimetres. So we're almost there. We've got that curvy line now. That's that bit around there, the arc we've got. Then you just need to add on the straight bits. So the perimeter would be 18.84. Add on the 6 and the 6, adding on 12. And so 18.84 plus 12 would be 30.84 centimetres. 18 plus 12 is 30 plus 0.84. 4 marks. So 1 for angle out of 360, 1 for subbing in information, 1 for getting 18.84, and 1 for getting 30.84. So altogether that paper comes out 35 marks. Hopefully that's made sense. If you have any questions, just ask on Teams. Okay, I'll be back with paper 2 shortly.